Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the metaverse. But we're not just talking about avatars and virtual reality. We're talking about the massive, very real economy that's being built inside of it right now.
And when I say massive, I mean it. We're looking at a potential market opportunity with over $1 trillion in estimated yearly revenue. That's not a niche hobby. That's an economic force that's predicted to touch almost every industry out there.
So in this explainer, here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with what this trillion-dollar world even is. Then we'll look at the virtual assets people are spending real money on. We'll see how businesses are already setting up shop on the new digital Main Street. After that, we'll tackle the single biggest challenge holding it all back. And finally, we'll look at who's trying to build its future.
Okay, let's jump right in. Before we can talk about the economy, we really need to get on the same page about what the metaverse itself actually is.
Think of it like a 3D version of the internet that's always on, a persistent digital world. It's a place where you, as an avatar, can socialize, play, and here's the key part for us, actually conduct economic transactions. This is where our digital and physical financial lives really start to blend together.
So what are people actually buying and selling in this new economy? Well, it goes way beyond just in-game points or power-ups. We're talking about an entirely new class of digital property. These are what we call virtual assets, but they have very real-world value. We're talking about everything from designer clothes for your avatar to one-of-a-kind digital art and even plots of virtual land. And you can buy, sell, and trade all of it on open markets, just like you would with physical things.
But you might be wondering, how can you prove you own something that doesn't physically exist? Well, that's the problem that non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, are designed to solve. You can think of an NFT as a secure, unfakeable digital deed for your virtual stuff, all recorded on a blockchain. It's the tech that gives you true, verifiable ownership of that digital jacket or plot of land. And this is what that looks like in practice. You're looking at a map of Decentraland, one of the biggest metaverse platforms. Every single one of those colored squares you see, that's a unique piece of virtual real estate, an NFT. Each plot is owned by a person or a company who can then build a store, an art gallery, or pretty much whatever they can dream up.
Now, to buy these assets, you need some form of currency. And in the metaverse, you've kind of got three flavors. You've got your traditional government-issued money, like the US dollar. Then you have cryptocurrencies, like Mana, which are native to these platforms but can be super volatile. And to bridge that gap, you have stablecoins, which are a type of crypto designed to hold a steady value because they're pegged to a real-world asset, making them a much safer bet.
Okay, so we've got the assets and the currencies. Now let's look at how this all comes together to form a functioning economy, a new digital Main Street, where real brands are setting up shop and making real money.
And this isn't just a hypothetical idea, it's already happening. Major luxury brands like Balenciaga are all in. They're creating entire digital clothing lines inside massive platforms like Fortnite. This is way more than just advertising. They're selling digital products directly to millions and millions of users.
And, wherever there's commerce, financial speculation is sure to follow. Just take a look at this chart of Mana's price, the currency for Decentraland. Those massive swings, the peaks and valleys, that looks a lot like what you'd see in the stock market. It's proof that there is real money and very real financial risk on the line.
And that financial energy is driving a ton of activity inside the virtual world itself. For example, in Decentraland's real estate market, a whopping 65% of all land parcels have been sold at least once. And get this, 30% have been resold. That shows there's a real active secondary market, just like with physical real estate.
So how exactly are businesses making money here? Well, it's pretty creative. They're selling virtual clothes and accessories for avatars, they're building storefronts right inside these worlds, and some are even linking physical products to digital ones. Imagine trying on a virtual car in 3D, then having the real one delivered to your house. It's all about blurring that line between the virtual and the real.
Okay, so for all of this incredible innovation and growth, there is one giant problem standing in the way of the metaverse reaching its full potential. It's the problem of fragmentation.
The heart of the issue is a lack of what's called interoperability. Basically, right now, the metaverse isn't one big interconnected universe. It's more like a bunch of separate digital islands. The cool outfit you bought in one world can't come with you to another. You and your assets are stuck inside these walled gardens. And this fragmentation goes all the way down to the very money that powers these worlds. The financial plumbing is a mess, split across hundreds of different exchanges and currencies that don't talk to each other. It makes doing anything seamlessly across platforms incredibly difficult. And get this, as of early 2023, There were more than 240 separate metaverse projects out there. Every single one is its own little kingdom, with its own rules, its own assets, and its own economy, totally cut off from all the rest.
So that's the big question, right? If the future is supposed to be this open, interconnected metaverse, how do we get there? How do we start building bridges between all these different virtual worlds?
The good news is a lot of smart people are already working on it. You've got groups like the Metaverse Standards Forum, where all the big industry players are trying to create universal rules of the road. You've got the Open Metaverse Alliance, which is laser-focused on making sure your digital stuff is truly yours and can travel with you. Even governments are stepping in, with countries like South Korea forming alliances to build out the frameworks. But, the challenges here go way beyond just technology. We still have to figure out huge legal questions. What does property law look like for digital items? How do we protect people from theft and fraud? And how do you regulate a world that has no borders? These are the tough questions that need answers.
And that really leaves us with the ultimate question. Are all these efforts going to lead to a single, open metaverse that works for everyone, kind of like the internet today? Or are we headed for a future of countless competing walled gardens, each controlled by a different tech giant? The answer is going to shape the next chapter of our digital lives.